Welcome to another video from East Beds Bushcraft, the home of #survival.
Greetings Bushcrafters and survivalists, it's Buzz here, back here for yet another noodle review, and it's a beautiful day outside. I've got the door open on the storatorium, so you might hear the birds, you might hear other things, I don't know, but the temperature in the storatorium is about 30 degrees centigrade at the moment, so it's pretty warm and I needed the ventilation. So, on to our noodles for today. We're revisiting a company called NAMDONG, and I recall doing some NAMDONG chicken flavour noodles, which were in a soft pack. We're going for the NAMDONG KIMCHI ramen noodles in a pot. Okay, well, the water's on. Now this brings up an interesting thing, because I was asked if I keep knocking off points for the fact that noodle pots have a pot and that means extra rubbish and plastic and all the rest of it, can they ever score a 10? Well, that's a good question, and I think the answer is really yes, because I don't just score things on the packaging. Yeah, the packaging comes into it, you know, and I do say in previous videos, oh, I've knocked off a point because it's in a plastic pot. However, the overall flavour content of the noodles is the most important thing. So when it comes to flavour and it comes to the enjoyment from the actual product itself, well man, they could knock it out of the park. So yeah, I think a noodle pot, even though initially it starts with a point off because it's got a pot, can still score a 10. So anyway, so this is another one of these. They like having a spice level, so you can put it to whatever spicy level you like. So let's have a look at the instructions. It says peel back the lid halfway and add the contents of the chili sachet depending on your spice preference. Add water to the water line. Stand and close the lid for 3 minutes. It says stir, close the lid for 3 minutes, stir again and enjoy. Right, so water's coming up to the boil, so we've got to peel that back halfway. Okay, so we've got a reasonable cake of noodles. We've got a very obvious fill line in there because it's actually got a picture of a kettle on the inside. Just turn this off. Right, well, you know me, I go for all the spice. So this is kimchi flavour ramen noodles. Kimchi being, I think it's Korean, isn't it? Traditional fermented vegetables, fermented cabbage, other vegetables and spices. Right, let's just check this isn't overly hot. Here we go, let's go for the fill. I believe kimchi isn't everybody's favourite when it comes to flavours, but I'm prepared to try it out, so let's see. Right, so we've put the stuff in and then it says stir. Well, there ain't much stirring going on because that cake of noodles is solid as a rock. So I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to close it up. We're going to get a 3-minute timer. Dun 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 dun, and off we go. Right. Okay, let's come back in 3 minutes and see where we're at. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Cue the wise old noodle owl. It's doing a flyby. Personally, it shouldn't really be awake at this time of the day, but there you go. Boink. I actually saw an owl yesterday. I was doing a survey on a barn out near Reading, and lovely barn owl flew out of the barn. It was absolutely lovely. Yeah, I love those moments. Anyway, right. This, although obviously we just skipped to this bit, seems like an amazingly fast noodle compared to the last one, because the last one I did was 7 minutes in like the preparation time, and it was a good noodle, don't get me wrong. It's scored 9 out of 10. Still reckon if they just had, I don't know if it's possible to do in like a sachet form like this, because they had the curry paste, whether they could have done like a coconut milk or something like that just as add on to the top of it. I reckon that would have just, you know, clicked it. Anyway, the sachet, the spice sachet, has a yellow tiger, an orange tiger, and a poor old red tiger with its eyes closed, or literally it's got crosses in its eyes and its tongue's hanging out. And it says here, the yellow tiger is no sachet. The half sachet for the orange tiger, which is sort of going, ooh, I don't know. And then the red one is like, ah. So have I done bad because I've gone and stuck the whole sachet in? Right. Let's take the lid off. I don't know if you can see on camera. There's the picture of the kettle on the inside. Right, let's give these a stir. They've had 3 minutes. Only 3 minutes, that's what I'm saying. I did 7 minutes last time and it like seemed to take forever to actually make the noodles. It wasn't just 7 minutes to make the noodles. 7 minutes of cooking noodles seem to make, I think what it is like, for example, here you're putting hot water on cold noodles and that probably brings the temperature down, but because you cooked it for 7 minutes, the noodles were hot, water's hot, and it just like, it took ages to literally cool down to a sufficient temperature to actually eat it. So not a noodle to do in a rush, those what prima taste noodles. Right, do you know what, I'm not convinced. 3 minutes, the noodles just don't, they look like they could do with another minute or so, but we're doing it by the instructions because that's what I said right from the beginning. Let's do it by the instructions. So, kimchi flavour. The spice packet's got some little green bits in it, but it was mostly red, not chili powder. Noodles look okay. They're flat noodles, thin and flat. Doesn't really smell of anything. Interesting. Right, okay, this is the part, get my teeth in. This is the part where we fast forward with me munching the noodles. So let's go. Well, there we go, another noodle down. Do you know, I don't actually know, and I still don't know quite what kimchi's meant to taste like, because it doesn't really taste of anything in particular. It's not a bad flavour, but it's not like a knock your socks off flavour. If that's what I'm tasting. You know, you can taste when it's chicken, you can taste when it's, say, curry, you can taste when it's a beef, you can taste when you know, the other one I had the other day, the prima taste, was coconut. Kimchi. I'm not really sure what I'm tasting here. Had some little bits of carrot, little bits of dehydrated cabbage in there. However, probably the most surprising thing about this is I went for the whole packet and it's not spicy at all. They're lying. A pot noodle Bombay bad boy was like far more kicking than that, and that was with all the heat spice in there, and I just found that it was flavoursome. Let's put it that way. I didn't even think it was very, very chilly. I've got no hot sensation or anything, you know. With the picture of the tiger is literally crying with its tongue sticking out, you'd think that this was meant to knock your socks off, but anyway, okay, down to what I think. Again, excess packaging, even to the point where they've drawn pictures and tigers and things inside the pot. I don't think that's necessary. Plastic pot, yeah, you can peel. It's actually got a tear strip on the side, look. There's a tear strip so you can tear the outside off to recycle. Oh yeah, you can really see the pictures inside this now. So the cardboard, okay, so the cardboard, you can recycle that or burn it, but it still leaves you with this very flimsy plastic cup. I suppose that's why it's got the cardboard on it, to try and stiffen it up a bit. What I will also say is it's got an annoying ridge in the bottom, and even though I went in with a fork, because I like getting a fork in because the fork tends to stir the powder up at the bottom, it still had a bit of residue that I found that I missed in the bottom, so it's got this little annoying divot in the bottom. So if you can have one of these, get in there. Flavour was fine. I've got nothing to say about the flavour really, apart from it was just fine. It was mediocre. It's cost, which I haven't mentioned, £1 a pot. So for a pound noodle as a snack, flavour's okay. Didn't really rock my world. I'll give them a 4. You know, I think they're below average. Or yeah, average good noodle, 5. These aren't a bad noodle, but I think they're a kind of a 4. Would I stock these? No, I wouldn't. Would I go, if I saw these on the shelf, would I get it again? No, I wouldn't. Yeah, anyway, there you go. NAMDONG kimchi ramen noodles. You got a 4. You heard it here first. Anyway, thanks for tuning in, and I shall see you in the next one.
Thank you for watching. Please like and share this video and subscribe to the East Beds Bushcraft channel. See you all again soon.